All energy becomes available toward what is wanted when what is unwanted is no longer the point of focus. You see, you have so much energy that right now in this moment, and I'm right there with you, that I'm pushing against. Lots of energy. Don't like, don't approve, don't want. And that's... If you can start the day without caffeine, if you can resist complaining and boring people with your troubles, if you can understand when your loved ones are too busy to give you any time, if you can overlook it when something goes wrong through no fault of yours and those you love take it out on you, if you can take criticism and blame without resentment, if you can face the world without lies and deceit, if you can conquer tension without medical help, if you can relax without liquor, if you can sleep without the aid of drugs, if you can say honestly that deep in your heart you have no prejudice against creed, color, religion, or politics, then you must be a dog. You know, I got to the point earlier this week where I just couldn't stand it any longer, and I had to put up my Christmas tree. I know it's early, and I know people get really upset when people do this kind of thing ahead of schedule, but I don't know, I just needed a little Christmas. I really needed a little Christmas spirit. And I'd been thinking about it actually for weeks, so I was even further ahead than you might have thought. But there I was then reaching through the different ornaments, and I like to keep ornaments on my tree that have significance, meaning for me. Some of you may remember my 85-pound black Labrador pup, even though she was quite a bit bigger than a pup, who actually graced the platform more than once at Unity on the Bay. She was, for 16 years, my significant other. And I so still to this day treasure that relationship. When I went into the Christmas ornaments this year, I, from year to year, don't always recall each and every one that I have, but I found this one. And if you can't see it, it's just a little black lab. And I bought this when I had Spirit in my life. Of course, I always have Spirit in my life, but when I had Spirit the dog in my life. And though I have never, although some individuals have sought earnestly to convince me I needed to get another dog, somehow I just needed the space of sort of continuing on with Spirit, the 85-pound black lab, for a while. I'm a lover of dogs, but since I moved into a condominium, I feel like I became a grandfather. I don't any longer have one dog or even two dogs, though I've always had dogs throughout my life. I have hundreds of dogs, and I'm like grandpa to all of them. You know, they're on the elevator, I get to give them treats, they're up and down the corridors. So I feel like I have a wonderful relationship with my canine friends still to this day. They're so beautiful, aren't they? So beautiful. In part, at least, because they so beautifully and brilliantly demonstrate to us the power of true, unconditional love. I mean, my dog Spirit would love me on the best of days, the worst of days, didn't care what I was thinking or what mood I was in, just wanted to be the presence of love in my life. And Spirit taught me so many things. She taught me how to be at peace with what is, because seemingly almost by miraculous action, she always seemed to be in a place of peace. Even if she was a little agitated, it was a peaceful agitation. She taught me how to truly appreciate life in the same way that I unconditionally appreciated her. She taught me how to live from naturally inspired actions rather than from stressful effort. You know, it may come as a shock to you, but my dog never once was spotted with a to-do list in her paw. It just came to her. She just did what she needed to do in the moment, and somehow she had all the resources she needed to be able to do it. So much that I learned from my dog. And today I want to share specifically those 3 areas that I feel like I got the best education from a canine in my life. I'm going to share with you something that's incredibly meaningful and valuable to me. This is my AAA card. And I just noticed this morning when I went to fetch it, I hope I don't get too emotional here, but apparently I have been a loyal member of AAA for 26 years. So as you can obviously see, I became a member when I was just about 3 or 4 years old. Excuse me, Faye? It's okay. No, seriously, 26 years, I didn't realize that. 1993, I became a member. Now, if you don't know, AAA is a like road service auto care club. Actually, the AAA stand for American Automobile Association, and they pride themselves on always being there to serve and support you whenever you are in need. Now, this morning, I'm not going to sell you AAA memberships. It's not my reason for being here, but I am going to try to sell you on a different kind of AAA. I'm going to call it the AAA Abundance Club. And those 3 A's stand for 3 words. Those words being acceptance, appreciation, and action. And if those happen to be on your screen right now, please take a picture or write them down. They're 3 very powerful words: acceptance, appreciation, and action. And let's start with acceptance. And this morning I'm going to be sharing with you from one of my great mentors and teachers, Byron Katie. She's also a dear friend of Unity on the Bays. She has graced us with her presence on numerous occasions. She's the author of a magnificent book called Loving What Is, which proposes a concept called the work. And in the pages of that book, Loving What Is, she will share with you a simple formula, but don't be caught up by the simplicity of it. It's extraordinarily deep. She says this, and I'm relating this to the concept of the first A, acceptance. There's no mistake in the universe. Everything is for you. The universe is friendly. And any thought that opposes that is going to feel like stress. So if you oppose it, you lose, but only 100% of the time. Reality rules. And I love that because you can trust it. Right here, right now is where you have the power. Right here and right now is where you have the power. You will only realize that power in this present moment when you are in a state of complete non-resistance and openness to everything that is a part of your experience. You're not judging it. You're not throwing opinions at it. You're observing it with an open mind, with a beginner's mind, as though you were seeing it for the very first time. Now, this just came to me moments ago, but I want to share it with you right now because it, in some ways, summarizes the entirety of what I want to talk about right now today. You can't be pulled toward what you want when you're pushing against what is. I'll say it again. You can't be pulled toward what you want when you're pushing against what is. You see, because when you're pushing against what is, that's where your energy is focused. I'm pushing against, as opposed to focusing on what is pulling me, what is evolving me, what is growing me. You can't be pulled toward what you want if you're pushing against what is. If you wonder why you don't have easy access to what you want, you might want to consider what it is that you could be pushing against, resisting, in a state of non-acceptance about in your life. And don't get this confused. I'm not talking of acceptance as approval or even liking something or somebody. I'm just saying accepting. You don't have to like it, but can you accept it? It's a state of non-judgment. It's a state of objective observation. Can you look at the content on the screen of your life right now and take on a posture of resisting no thing? We've heard it so many times from this platform and within Unity settings. What you resist will always persist. Resistance is not helpful because resistance takes energy. If you're pushing against, you cannot step forward into what can be, what you can be, what we can be, what life can be, what the world can be. All energy becomes available toward what is wanted when what is unwanted is no longer the point of focus. You see, you have so much energy that right now in this moment, and I'm right there with you, that I'm pushing against. Lots of energy. Don't like, don't approve, don't want. And that's all energy absorbing, as opposed to do want, can be, might be, pray will be, hope will be, dream will be. Now you see I'm putting my energy not into what is that I don't like because I've accepted it whether I like it or not, and I'm directing my attention into what can be. Now this is how dreams, this is how miracles, this is how potential and capacity in life becomes realized, because the focus is taken off what is not desired and is placed entirely upon what is desired. One of my favorite lines, though it's not always easy to bring into practice, is this: it is what it is. This life, what you're experiencing, it is what it is. Can you just accept it as being what it is? No right, no wrong, no good, no bad, no resistance. And instead own it, own the content of your life experience as it is occurring right now, and see it as your launching pad. You see, friends, we have succumbed to this belief that we are unworthy, that we're not creative, that we're not capable, and all of that is a mistruth. It is a lie. The reality is that you are a spiritual genius, a spiritual master. Whether you can accept that in this moment or not, I'm proposing that it's the truth. And you didn't just move through your life helter-skelter at random in some disorder. Everything you've ever experienced was what you needed to experience to be able to place you in this moment right now, a moment in which you may be, if you so choose, opening to your own power, opening to the recognition that you are a vessel through which the presence of God flows fully and freely. This moment right now is your launching pad. If you're pushing against it, you're not going to be able to take off. If you can embrace it, whether you like it or not, whether you approve of it or not, if you can say, me in my spiritual mastery, I set the stage. The stage is set. The launching pad is prepared. I'm going to use whatever is in my experience right now in this moment as the point of takeoff into my future, into, even before my future, a more glorious, outstanding present moment. So here we are. Everybody completely accepted the content of their entire existence throughout time, throughout eternality. We're in this state of complete acceptance. Now, we can be very mindful of anything that we might want to exercise the second A regarding, and that is appreciation. From acceptance to appreciation. Byron Katie says this: the litmus test for self-realization is the constant state of gratitude. This gratitude is not something a person can look for and find. It comes from another direction. It takes us over completely. It's so vast that it can't be dimmed or overlaid. It's like its own self. The short version would be God intoxicated with God itself. And when you think life is so good that it cannot get any better, it gets better. It has to. That's law. That's universal law. There's nothing more powerful on the planet than a mind that is grateful, a heart that is grateful. In Scripture, the book of John, 16th chapter, 15th verse, we read, "For whosoever hath, to him shall be given." And I'm going to alter Scripture just a little bit here. Bear with me. For whosoever hath, to him and her, or her and him, shall it be given. So if you hath it, you got it. What is it that you want to hath? Hath what? Hath, have, a consciousness of perpetual appreciation. You say, I can't do that because there's not enough to be grateful for here. There's just too much to be dismayed about, worried about, doubtful about. Well, friends, that's only because you're looking at the dismayed. You're looking at the fearful. You're looking at the doubtful. Redirect, turn the other cheek, and look at the possibilities. Look at the richness that is in your life right now. No matter how difficult a day may be, there is always something that you can focus on that will lift your spirit and thereby raise you to a level of greater appreciation, to one who hath a consciousness of appreciation. Katie goes on to say, there's such an abundance here, now, always. There's a table, there's a floor, there's a rug on the floor, there's a window, there's a sky, a sky. There are two friends, not one, not zero, but two. I could go on and on describing the world I live in now. It would take a lifetime to describe this moment, this now, and isn't it beautiful? And I didn't do anything for it. But notice. Notice. What are you noticing? You see, once you've cleared the slate and you've accepted all things as they are in your life experience, now you can make conscious choices to put your focus on the things, not that are difficult to appreciate, not that are challenging to give thanks to God for, but the simple things, and sometimes not so simple, sometimes grand and glorious. If you didn't notice, the sun somehow keeps coming up. And the moon keeps shining over the waters in the evening. If you haven't noticed, you're still breathing. If you haven't noticed, you see, she's talking about noticing here, just noticing, from the simple to the grandest of blessings that are in your midst. I have said probably every Thanksgiving from this platform or one platform or another for so many years now, the two most powerful words in the English language. I wonder if you remember them. Thank you. Thank you. So I want to invite you to participate in an exercise with me right now, wherever you are. I'm here at Temple Israel looking out over a room of some of the most beautiful people that will ever occupy space on this planet. In some cases, the most beautiful voices, the most talented musicians. I'm looking at Maria, who's our magnificent sound tech. I'm looking at George Tandy, one of the greatest musicians in South Florida. I'm looking at Faye, who blesses us every week. I'm looking at these chairs. Now they're all spaced 6 feet apart, but they are the most beautiful chairs that you would ever want to see. They're empty right now, but they won't be for long. I'm looking at these gorgeous chandeliers. I'm looking at these new beautiful lights that John Irvin bought us. I'm looking at this new platform that I'm standing on. I'm looking out the door. I'm seeing fresh air. Yeah, there may be storms or rain or whatever on its way, but right now it looks beautiful to me. There are so many things in every moment of our lives, my friends. It's just a matter of where we choose to place our focus, our attention. Stop putting the attention on the things that irk you, that irritate you, that dismay you. Where energy goes, manifestation flows. And you are free. This is always your choice to choose where you will invest your energy, your focus. So now we've accepted all things as they are. I'm telling you, the sense of peace that comes from being able to, again, I'm not saying you have to like it all, but can you just accept that it is what it is, and that maybe there's a slim chance, actually there's a 150,000% chance, that it's exactly what you need right now in this moment to take off into the next level of the expression of yourself as the perfection of God. And now we're appreciating, constantly appreciating so much beauty in our midst, so much that we're aware of. Do you have any idea how much is going on inside your body right now? The cooperation of the intelligence of the souls from the top of your head to the bottom of your toes. Just as I've often said, wiggling your fingers. Do it right now. Put your fingers up in front of you and just wiggle them. They're amazing. How in the world is that happening? I'm in the middle of a miracle, but I've seen it so many times that I forgot that it was the miracle that it is. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. How is all this happening? We just seem to resist noticing sometimes, but it's there. Now, we've got the acceptance, we've got the appreciation. Here comes the third A, action. Action. Abraham Hicks says, because the vibration of appreciation is the most powerful connection between the physical you and the non-physical you, or the spiritual God you, it will put you in a position to receive even clearer guidance from your inner being. When you're in a state of appreciation and when you've accepted all things as they are, now the channel is completely open for you to receive powerful guidance from your inner being, from your Christed nature, from the God indwelling you. You've accepted all things as they are. You've released all resistance. You're appreciating everything you can. Now you're clear. Now you're clear. And all energy is available to you in this state of immense clarity. Byron Katie says, when you're not arguing with reality, you're clear. And everything you're to do is possible right here. And the options are unlimited. There's two ways we can see action in our lives, my friends. There's motivated or prompted or forced or required action. That's one thing. You can take that kind of action and get things done. You might be drained or exhausted afterward, but you motivated yourself to be able to get there. Then there's another kind of action that's really, really awesome. It's inspired action. And inspired action comes to you when you have cleared the way, when you've done your work through acceptance and appreciation. The channel is open. The phrase I like to use is one I learned years ago in ministerial school. I am open and receptive to God's living spirit of truth. Say that to yourself right now. I am open and receptive to God's living spirit of truth. There's nothing standing in the way of my receptivity. Now I'm going to receive what Joel Goldsmith refers to as divine or godly impartations. These are thoughts not that you have conjured up to think. They are thoughts that are being delivered to you from divine mind. And they are potent and powerful, and they are in no way clouded by your own judgments or your own blockages or your own resistance. The channel, you've opened it through acceptance, through appreciation. Now you're in full throttle. This energy, these ideas, these impartations from the divine are coming to you. You are now becoming the direct conduit through which the presence of God can pour out upon you, those you love, and the world, blessing upon blessing upon blessing. Inspired action is just incredibly and deliciously effective in this world, my friends. One of the great benefits is that it is completely effortless. Why is it effortless and easy? Because you're not doing it. Not the you that you have come to believe yourself to be. You're not drained anymore. You're not exhausted. Instead, you're exhilarated. You're on fire because the free-flowing energy, substance, presence of God is racing and rushing through you. Now, just imagine if one of us, Abraham Hicks says that one of us engaged in that kind of alignment is more powerful than millions who are not. And I'm not talking about the power that we exert over other people to get them to do what we think they ought to be doing. I'm talking about the power of God, which sees the goodness and the greatness and the holy plan of all creation in each and every moment of our existence. You're an agent of that. And follow this AAA to abundant living, my friends. I guarantee you, blessing upon abundance upon miracle will begin to manifest in your life. You will be the light of the world that God has created you to be.